What's up, Vetters? Patrick here with Vetted. I have a bombshell video for y'all today. Something that I didn't actually cover last week. Last week, Jesse Michaels with American Alchemy released a groundbreaking interview with Harald Malmgren, and it detailed all kinds of different UFO revelations. It was a 4-hour piece. It was his last interview he ever did. He passed away, within weeks of doing that interview. And one part in particular that I didn't cover that's kind of being talked about now, since it's come out, right, is a story that is really hard to believe at face value, but considering who it comes from, it adds a lot of legitimacy. And we're going to dive into this today. I just don't even know how to describe it entirely. Essentially, Harald saw a video of an alien, right? An extraterrestrial. And that extraterrestrial came from the Roswell crash. Now, I've got way more details. We're going to get into it because there's even more to uncover and unpack about this story. So let's get this started. Now, make sure to stay tuned to the end because I have a special little surprise for you for Vetted hitting 50,000 subscribers. You're going to want to see it. It's quite excellent. You'll see what I mean. Also, please hit that like button, Vetters. That really helps out the videos. And if you're not already, hit that subscribe button. I put out new videos every week about the UFO phenomena. Let's get this bombshell story started. Here's the first clip of Jesse talking about this ET that Harald saw a video of that came from the Roswell crash. And again, there's even more to unpack here.
Did Richard Bissell know what was going on all along? That the bluegill test was actually always intended to be a directed energy-based UFO shootdown? Well, tellingly, Harald told Pippa on his deathbed and off-air that the CIA and Atomic Energy Commission got the very idea of shooting down UFOs with directed energy from an extraterrestrial being that survived the Roswell crash in 1947. This being was apparently the sole survivor of that crash. Harald even told Pippa that later in his career, he saw the video of this creature being interviewed.
What? Right? Imagine seeing a video of an alien being interviewed and it came from the Roswell crash, right? I mean, I have so many questions, to be honest with you. And there have been some interviews online of aliens purportedly, right, that you've seen, and I've covered a few on this channel before, none of which I think is the one that Harald saw, which means that video, in my opinion, has never been seen before. And will it see the light of day? Does it still exist? How many copies of it are there? Is there just one angle? I mean, how do you even get prepared for something like that? And who showed it to Harald, right? Let's continue because this story continues to be extraordinary.
And there's a direct link between the bluegill triple prime tests and Star Wars, or the Strategic Defense Initiative that later took place in the 80s. You see, the bluegill triple prime tests inspired Edward Teller's X-ray-based Excalibur designs, which formed the basis of Reagan's Strategic Defense Initiative, popularly known as Star Wars. Star Wars involved a massive network of directed energy weapons for missile defense. It also involved satellite tracking, an immaculate constellation, if you will, for UFO shootdowns and tracking. This, of course, begs the question, was Star Wars always dual use and intended for shooting down and quarantining UAP? And if these very concepts came from the sole surviving being from the Roswell crash, it begs the very important question, are we involved in some sort of bizarre extraterrestrial proxy war? Ultimately, one can only speculate. But it is important to note that before he briefed Malmgren, Richard Bissell had to have known about all of this. Remember, at the time, he was deputy director of plans for the entire CIA, and he would go on to become deputy director for the entire organization, its number 2. so he was likely well aware of this interview of the surviving being at Roswell.
All right, so there's a lot here to unpack, right? These bluegill triple prime tests that Jesse is talking about, I covered in a previous video. So I'll put a link in the description if you want to find out more about that. Harald, actually touched pieces allegedly of a UFO from one of these tests where the UFO, got shot down, and Richard Bissell showed him some pieces of the craft, right? So I made a video about that. I'll put a link in the description. Go check that out if you want to learn more about that. But let's get back more to this clip here, right? Essentially what is being speculated is that this surviving Roswell extraterrestrial being, is the one that gave them the idea for using direct energy weapons, right? Which they then used to shoot down UFOs. I don't know if the being gave them advice on how to shoot down his own people's UFOs. That seems kind of odd, to be honest. Or did he just mention that information, then we took it and used it for bad, if you know what I'm saying, right? He gave us some piece, here's something you could use, and then we decided, oh, okay, well, we'll just use that to shoot down your crafts. That seems quite unusual, and it seems quite unusual that the being would reveal that, knowing that, us as humans would potentially use it for that, right? Like, even I could think of that. So that seems a little unusual, and there's really not much more clarification on that. But I don't know, just some questions I have. And then Jesse also asked, are we in a proxy war with, let's just say it, aliens, right? Is there some sort of alien war going on that we're in the middle of? There's so much to unpack in this story, to be honest with you. And it's absolutely fascinating, and Jesse presented it in such a great way. Again, I highly recommend this 4-hour interview with Harald. I get it. It's a long interview, right? I've done my best to make a couple videos to cover some of the key points, but, I highly recommend watching it because there's just so many bombshells in this thing, right? Just like this one that we're covering today, a week later, right? So let's continue on with this because there's more about Richard Bissell that, seems to keep coming out. And it seems to me that this guy is one of the head people involved in all of this.
Bissell also founded Area 51 in 1955, and he'd strategically placed it at the Nevada test site where hundreds of atomic tests were occurring in the early 50s. So he had to have known about the UFO nuclear connection. Bissell likely also understood the secret UFO-related intentions of the bluegill tests all along. But Harald goes deeper. He implies that Bissell knows about this other layer of reality, a form of sort of extraterrestrial exopolitics that needed to be managed by elements of the US government for decades.
Do you think Richard Bissell sort of knew that you were sort of an heir to him in sort of a more like spiritual sense or something?
I think he was very spiritual. And he was looking for someone who was somehow connected.
Connected to what?
Whatever was happening with the worldly forces.
Have you looked for people like that?
Yeah, I'm reading about them all the time.
Extraterrestrial exopolitics. Wow. Do we even have the bandwidth for that? We could barely deal with the politics on Earth, right? Just terrestrial. Let's not add in the extraterrestrial politics on top of that. Some sort of galactic, federation that we've heard about before. So I don't know. Again, very fascinating story, very credible. Could be some truth to it. Now, I've got one little more piece here to show you to add maybe some context to this whole story. And it has to do with someone named David Noble Whitecrow. Here's Jesse to explain a little bit more. And stay with me after this clip because I have an additional clip that Jesse didn't include in his 4-hour piece that I think you're going to want to hear directly from David Noble Whitecrow's own mouth.
Finally, we have an eyewitness of the bluegill triple prime test who is alive today, a former Navy sailor named David Noble Whitecrow. He's spoken to UFO investigator Richard Dolan, and look at what he told Dolan.
The witness was a man named David. He was part of what was called Operation Dominic. He was aboard a ship called the USS Finch, 19 miles southwest of Johnson Island or Johnson Atoll. The date is October 26, 1962. At 9:59 a.m., they launched this missile. Suddenly, he hears on the loudspeaker the voice of the ship's captain saying, everyone below deck, other than a few essential personnel, and they're preparing for damage control. After 15 minutes, an officer goes down in there, and he selects about a dozen of these guys, including David, and they're ordered to look directly forward toward the horizon. And they were not allowed to have any conversation. So after some time, I don't know how long, the officer in charge orders them to look 10 degrees off the starboard bow. So at this point, this is a direct quote from David. I wrote this entire thing down. He said to me, "Lo and behold, what appeared in the sky, what I saw was a huge cigar-shaped object coming toward us at 10 degrees and about 15 to 20 degrees off the horizon."
Now, let's get to that special piece that I told you about that I have that Jesse didn't include in his documentary. And I actually came upon it by going to Twitter and running across this particular account, Metamaterial, and they had put this up. Now, I will say, this picture of David Whitecrow that you see right here, that's not actually David Whitecrow. So we'll get to that in a second, but let me just read this tweet. It says, David Noble Whitecrow, mentioned as a UFO witness in Jesse Michaels' interview with Harald Malmgren, seemingly corroborates Malmgren's story that an NHI being, perhaps from Roswell, is helping us or providing some sort of guidance. So this is actually what David Whitecrow looks like. Boom, that's it. And he's got this artist sort of bio on a website, artwanted.com, and he's an artist. And he's drawn, painted, I guess I should say, all kinds of different things. So this is actually David Noble Whitecrow, not the other picture that you were seeing before. So let's get to this audio recording only of David Noble Whitecrow speaking a little bit more to help back up Harald Malmgren's story.
Because you're still not telling us a whole bunch about Roswell. So I'm just getting this feeling. I'm not trying to put you in a difficult position. I get the feeling you're not saying the whole thing. You're still not in.
That's correct. Because this is, we have, what can I say? One of them, I'll just say one of them, is a turncoat. And he's in a very classified, high-security location and been unloading information about his species and where they come from and all kinds of stuff like that. I don't have the details. I've only got bits and pieces. Mm-hmm. And what it's doing, it's overhauling the entire conception of what we think based on our physics, okay? It's completely different out there. Completely different out there. What we call the spirit world, there are layers. There are layers. And certain entities can survive only in certain layers on the whole purpose of them attempting to clone themselves or attach themselves to the different spirit levels to learn about how to take advantage of the power that they can have. So it's a battle out there. There's a battle out there. Yeah.
So you're saying that you're aware that there's some contact with extraterrestrials right now. You're saying there's a turncoat. Is that the word you used?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've received this information from someone in the intelligence agencies who you just refer to as a mole or someone like this. And you can't say much more about it, but you know for a fact that there's contact?
Yeah.
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 Wow.
So David here isn't talking about the sighting that Jesse mentioned in his video, but he is talking about this turncoat alien, right? So I guess earlier in the video when I was asking, you know, is this alien, why is he helping out humans shoot down other, you know, UFOs, his own species? Well, it turns out he's a turncoat, essentially, right? Which just means he's a traitor, right? He's going against his own people, which is interesting, right? What sort of safety or security would he have here on Earth by himself, right? Why turn against them? That's the biggest question I would ask this alien. Why are you turning against your own people? And what makes you think us humans are going to keep you safe, right? Apparently they have them locked away, right? So this is very interesting. I mean, is this being still alive, right? How long do they live? What is their lifespan, right? So interesting here. And how does David know this, right? Well, he's saying he has a mole within the intelligence agency that has told him this stuff, right? And he's sort of helping back up some of the same stuff that Harald Malmgren is saying, right? So I don't know. What do y'all think about this? This is all very interesting. It gets just stranger and stranger and darker the deeper you go in that well, right? So, my goodness. I don't know, y'all. Look, I'm going to put links in the description to everything. Feel free to go check it out for yourself and make your own decision, right? Your own opinion. I, for one, am looking forward to more information coming out about this particular alien interview and just the being itself from Roswell, right? And why? Why would this alien turn against his own people? That's the biggest question I would have for this ET being, right? Who allegedly, again, is from the Roswell crash. So we'll have to wait and see for more information. Like I promised at the beginning of this video, I have a special surprise for hitting 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. Over the weekend, I went out with my wife and my nephews, and in honor of all the egg-shaped UFOs flying around, I let them throw 50 eggs at me, and I made a little video to sort of celebrate, right? Oh, yeah. All right, guys, 50,000 subscribers. Have at it.
I woke up today with something to say, but all that came out was bum 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 bum. And I went for a walk to see what I could find, and it turned out that everyone was doing just fine. And then the drums kicked in and everything changed. We all got together and said the same thing. We said na 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 bum 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 na 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 bum 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 bum. So if you wake up tomorrow and find you're the same, just find some drums and then you'll be okay. When the drums kick in and everything changes, we all get together and say the same thing.
Now, I will say real quick, those eggs hurt. Eggs don't break as easily as you think they do. So most of the eggs thrown at me felt like rocks, if I'm being honest. I've got welts all over my body. What I thought, it was fun, don't get me wrong, and I would do it again, to be honest with you. But man, it got a little crazy. All right, y'all, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed looking into this. Again, links in the description to everything. Go check it out for yourself and let me know what you think. We'll see you on the next video, vetters. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.